What if I told you the reason your life feels stuck has nothing to do with luck, talent, or opportunity, but everything to do with what you are not doing while the world is still asleep? Because while most people are dreaming, scrolling, or hitting snooze for the fifth time, there is another group of people quietly building a life that looks almost impossible from the outside. The 1E. They are not doing anything magical. They are not born different. They are simply doing something most people refuse to do. Before the world wakes up, they are already ahead of it. And here is what nobody tells you. Success is not built in public. It is built in silence, in discipline, in those early hours when no one is clapping, no one is watching, and no one is coming to save you. So ask yourself something uncomfortable. While you are sleeping in comfort, who is building the future you keep thinking about? Because the truth is, by the time the world wakes up, the 1E are already in motion. They have already trained their mind, controlled their focus, and taken steps that most people delay for years. And if you stay with this message until the end, you will understand exactly what they do differently, and why your mornings might be the missing key between where you are now and where you want to be in life. Early morning discipline is one of the most powerful habits that separates ordinary people from extraordinary achievers. Before the world becomes loud with distractions, responsibilities, and endless demands, there is a small window of silence where the mind is at its strongest. The top 180 understand that this quiet time is not just another part of the day. It is the foundation of their mental strength, emotional control, and long-term success. While most people begin their mornings reacting to alarms, messages, stress, and social media, highly disciplined individuals begin their mornings by taking control of their thoughts. They know that if they win the first hour of the day, they increase their chances of winning the rest of it. The human mind is most impressionable in the early morning. Whatever enters your mind first often shapes your mood, focus, energy, and decisions for the next several hours. That is why successful people guard their mornings carefully. Instead of waking up and immediately consuming negativity or distractions, they use that time to strengthen themselves mentally and emotionally. Some read books that sharpen their thinking. Some pray or meditate to calm their minds. Others exercise, journal, visualize goals, or create plans for the day ahead. These actions may seem small, but repeated daily, they create enormous inner power over time. Early morning discipline also builds self-respect. Every time a person wakes up early with purpose, they prove to themselves that they are capable of controlling comfort instead of being controlled by it. Most people are ruled by feelings. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel lazy, they delay. But disciplined people act regardless of emotions. This creates confidence because confidence is not built through motivational speeches alone. It is built through promises kept to yourself. When someone consistently wakes up before sunrise to work on their goals, their mind slowly begins to believe, "I am serious about my future." Another reason the early morning is so powerful is because it allows clear thinking. Throughout the day, people become mentally crowded by noise, conversations, pressure, and distractions. But before the world wakes up, the mind is calm and focused. In that state, people can think deeply about their goals, solve problems creatively, and make better decisions. Many successful leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, and creators value the early hours because they know clarity often appears in silence. Discipline in the morning also creates momentum. A productive morning often leads to a productive afternoon and evening. When someone begins the day with focus, exercise, learning, and purpose, they carry that energy into everything else they do. Over months and years, these disciplined mornings compound into stronger habits, greater achievements, improved mental toughness, and a life built with intention rather than regret. Success is rarely created in front of an audience. Most great achievements are built quietly, behind closed doors, during moments when nobody is watching. The second keynote, success is built in private, not in public, reflects a truth that many people struggle to understand in a world obsessed with attention, validation, and instant recognition. The top 1EE know that the visible rewards people admire are only the final result of years of invisible effort. Long before success appears publicly, discipline, sacrifice, learning, and preparation are happening privately. Most people only notice the finished product. They see the successful business, the confident speaker, the wealthy entrepreneur, the athlete holding a trophy, or the creator with millions of followers. What they do not see are the lonely mornings, the late nights, the failures, the self-doubt, and the repeated effort that happened when nobody cared. Greatness is often formed in silence. The strongest habits are built away from applause. That is why truly successful people do not depend on attention to stay motivated. Their drive comes from vision, purpose, and inner discipline rather than public approval. There is power in working privately because privacy removes distraction. When people constantly seek validation, they often spend more time talking about goals than actually working toward them. They announce plans, chase attention, and become addicted to looking successful instead of becoming successful. The 1E avoid this trap. They focus on building skills quietly, improving their mindset, and mastering their craft before expecting recognition. They understand that results speak louder than announcements.
Private work also develops character.
When nobody is watching, a person reveals who they truly are. It is easy to work hard when praise is guaranteed, but real discipline appears when there is no applause at all. Reading books before sunrise, exercising consistently, practicing skills daily, studying after long work hours, and staying committed during difficult seasons are acts of private discipline that shape extraordinary people over time. These moments may seem invisible, but they create the mental toughness necessary for long-term success. Another important truth is that private preparation creates public confidence. A person who has spent years learning, practicing, and improving in silence walks differently because they know the work has already been done. Confidence is not something people magically gain overnight. It is earned through preparation. The athlete trusts their performance because they trained privately. The entrepreneur trusts their decisions because they studied and failed privately. The speaker stands confidently because they practiced privately long before stepping onto the stage. The world often celebrates outcomes but ignores preparation. People admire success without respecting the process behind it. Yet every major achievement begins with unseen effort. The foundation of every strong future is built quietly through habits repeated daily in moments where no cameras exist, no audience applauds, and no rewards appear immediately, because real transformation always begins in the unseen parts of life. The third keynote, thoughts shape destiny, is one of the most powerful principles behind personal success and transformation. Every action begins with a thought, and every habit, decision, achievement, or failure is first created in the mind before it appears in reality. The top 1TE understand that the quality of their thinking determines the direction of their lives. They know that people do not rise above the level of their mindset for very long. A person who instantly thinks with fear, doubt, negativity, and limitation will eventually act in ways that produce disappointing results. In contrast, a person who trains their mind to think with purpose, confidence, discipline, and vision will naturally move toward growth and achievement. The mind works like a magnet. Whatever a person repeatedly thinks about begins to influence emotions, behavior, and daily choices. Someone who constantly says, "I'm not good enough," often avoids opportunities, fears rejection, and gives up easily. Meanwhile, someone who believes improvement is possible becomes more willing to learn, work harder, and persist through challenges. Thoughts silently control actions, and actions repeated consistently shape destiny over time. This is why successful people protect their minds carefully. They avoid feeding themselves endless negativity because they understand that destructive thoughts eventually create destructive habits. Morning thoughts are especially important because the mind is fresh and highly impressionable at the beginning of the day. The first hour after waking up often sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. If someone begins the morning with stress, complaints, social media drama, or fear, their energy and focus become weakened. But if they begin with gratitude, goal setting, learning, reflection, or positive thinking, they strengthen their mindset before facing the world. The 1A intentionally use the early hours to direct their thoughts toward success instead of allowing the world to control their thinking. Thoughts also influence belief, and belief influences effort. People naturally work harder for goals they believe are possible. A person who truly believes they can improve their future becomes more disciplined, more resilient, and more determined. This is why mindset is often the hidden force behind achievement. Two people may have the same opportunities, but the one with stronger thinking patterns usually creates better outcomes because their mindset affects how they respond to difficulty, failure, and uncertainty. Another important truth is that the brain becomes conditioned by repetition. Repeated thoughts slowly become mental habits. When someone repeatedly focuses on excuses, fear, or hopelessness, those thoughts become automatic. But when someone repeatedly trains themselves to think with vision, confidence, and determination, those thoughts also become automatic. Over time, the mind begins to work in alignment with whatever it practices most. This is why successful individuals intentionally feed their minds with empowering ideas, clear goals, and strong mental images of the future they want to create, knowing that the life they build externally is often a reflection of the thoughts they cultivate internally.
The fourth keynote, consistency beats motivation, reveals one of the greatest truths about
Success and personal growth. Many people believe successful individuals achieve greatness because they are constantly inspired, energized, or emotionally driven. But the reality is very different. The top 1% do not rely on temporary feelings to determine their actions. They understand that motivation comes and goes, but consistency creates lasting results. Motivation may help a person start, but discipline and repeated action are what produce transformation over time. Most people wait until they feel ready before taking action. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect level of confidence. The problem is that feelings are unpredictable. Some days people feel strong, focused, and ambitious, while other days they feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. If success depended only on motivation, very few people would ever accomplish anything meaningful because emotions constantly change. The 1% understand this, which is why they build routines and habits that continue even when motivation disappears. Consistency is powerful because small, repeated actions create large, long-term results. Reading 10 pages every day may not seem life-changing in 1 week, but over several years it can completely transform a person's mindset and knowledge. Exercising for 1 day changes little, but exercising consistently strengthens the body, improves confidence, and develops discipline. Saving small amounts of money regularly may appear insignificant at first, but over time it creates financial stability. Success is usually not built through one dramatic moment. It is built through ordinary actions repeated consistently for long periods of time. Another reason consistency matters more than motivation is because it strengthens identity. Every time a person follows through on a habit, especially when they do not feel like it, they reinforce the belief that they are disciplined and reliable. Over time, these repeated actions change how a person sees themselves. Someone who consistently wakes up early, studies daily, or works toward goals begins to develop confidence rooted in evidence rather than emotion. This type of confidence becomes powerful because it is based on action, not temporary inspiration. Consistency also creates momentum. Once a person develops a routine, actions begin to feel more natural and automatic. The hardest part is often beginning, but repeated behavior trains the mind and body to operate with less resistance. The top 1% know that success is not about doing something perfectly once. It is about continuing even when progress feels slow, invisible, or difficult. They understand that persistence during boring, uncomfortable, or frustrating seasons is often what separates winners from quitters. Many people overestimate what they can achieve in a few days and underestimate what they can achieve in a few years of consistent effort. The greatest advantage successful people have is not extraordinary talent or endless motivation. It is the ability to continue showing up repeatedly, especially during moments when others become distracted, discouraged, or unwilling to keep going, because lasting success belongs to those who remain committed long after excitement fades. The 5th keynote, self-mastery comes before external success, teaches a principle that many people overlook in their pursuit of money, recognition, and achievement. Most people focus on changing their outside circumstances before changing themselves. But the top 1% understand that lasting success always begins internally. Before a person can effectively lead a business, manage wealth, inspire others, or achieve major goals, they must first learn to control their habits, emotions, mindset, and daily behavior. External success without inner discipline is often temporary, unstable, and difficult to maintain. Self-mastery means gaining control over the parts of life that weaken potential. It means controlling laziness, fear, anger, distractions, excuses, impatience, and negative thinking. Every person has dreams, but not everyone has the discipline required to protect those dreams from their own destructive habits. Many people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they cannot consistently manage themselves. The 1% recognize that the biggest battle is rarely against the outside world. The greatest battle is often against comfort, procrastination, self-doubt, and emotional weakness. One of the most important aspects of self-mastery is emotional control. Successful people understand that emotions are temporary, but decisions made during emotional moments can have long-lasting consequences. A person who reacts with anger, gives up during frustration, or loses focus during stress will struggle to build anything meaningful over time. Self-mastered individuals train themselves to stay calm under pressure, focused during difficulty, and disciplined even when they do not feel motivated. They learn how to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Self-mastery also involves controlling attention and focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Many people waste hours scrolling through social media, comparing themselves to others, or consuming endless entertainment while their goals remain untouched. The top 1% detect their focus because they understand that where attention goes, energy follows. They intentionally direct their time toward learning, improving, planning, and building their future instead of constantly escaping discomfort through distraction. Another powerful part of self-mastery is the ability to delay gratification. Most people want immediate pleasure, quick rewards, and easy results. They avoid discomfort even when discomfort is necessary for growth. But highly successful individuals are willing to sacrifice temporary comfort for long-term success. They wake up early when others sleep, study while others relax, save money while others overspend, and continue working while others quit. This ability to prioritize the future over temporary pleasure creates extraordinary results over time. The reason self-mastery is so important is because success amplifies who a person already is. Money, power, and recognition do not automatically create wisdom or discipline. If someone lacks self-control before achieving success, those weaknesses often become even more dangerous afterward. But when a person masters their habits, mindset, emotions, and actions first, they develop the inner strength necessary to handle greater opportunities, responsibilities, and achievements with stability, confidence, and purpose. The sixth keynote, morning time is a competitive advantage, highlights one of the most overlooked secrets behind high achievement and personal growth. The early hours of the morning offer something extremely valuable that becomes rare once the day fully begins: uninterrupted focus. While most of the world is asleep, distracted, or rushing through chaotic routines, the top 1% use this quiet time to prepare mentally, physically, and emotionally for success. They understand that mornings provide an advantage because they allow a person to think clearly, work intentionally, and build momentum before distractions take control of the day. One reason morning time is so powerful is because the environment is quieter and calmer. During the early hours, there are fewer interruptions, fewer demands, and less mental noise. Phones are quieter, social media is less active, and responsibilities have not yet fully arrived. This creates an ideal space for concentration and deep thinking. Successful individuals use this time to read, write, plan goals, study, exercise, meditate, or work on important projects because they know focused effort produces better results than distracted effort. While others begin the day reacting to problems, disciplined people begin by creating progress. The morning also provides a psychological advantage. Waking up early with purpose immediately places a person in a proactive mindset instead of a reactive one. Most people spend their mornings rushing, checking notifications, or trying to recover from exhaustion, which often creates stress before the day even starts. The 1E choose a different approach. They create structure and control during the first part of the day, so they can operate with clarity instead of confusion. This sense of control strengthens confidence and reduces mental chaos. Another reason mornings are a competitive advantage is because they reveal commitment. It is easy to say you want success, but actions in private hours reveal how serious a person truly is. Waking up early requires sacrifice. It demands discipline, consistency, and the ability to prioritize long-term goals over short-term comfort. Every early morning becomes proof that a person is willing to do what others avoid. Over time, these repeated sacrifices separate average performers from extraordinary achievers. Morning hours are also important because they compound over time. Even one extra productive hour every morning can create massive results across months and years. An hour spent reading daily can lead to dozens of books completed each year. An hour spent learning a skill, exercising, or building a business eventually creates knowledge, strength, and opportunities that most people never develop. Small, disciplined actions repeated during quiet mornings gradually create a major gap between those who use their time wisely and those who waste it. The top 1% understand that success is often earned before the rest of the world even wakes up. They treat mornings as an investment in their future because they know that focused effort during those early hours strengthens the mind, sharpens discipline, increases productivity, and creates the momentum necessary to stay ahead in a distracted and competitive world. In the end, the difference between ordinary people and the top 1% is not luck, talent, or background. It is the decisions they make when nobody is watching. It is the discipline to rise early, the courage to think differently, the willingness to stay consistent, and the determination to master themselves before trying to conquer the world. Every successful life is built one morning, one habit, and one disciplined decision at a time. Remember this: your future is not created someday in the future. It is being created right now by the choices you make every single day. The alarm clock you ignore, the excuses you repeat, the opportunities you delay, and the habits you tolerate are either building your dream or destroying it silently. But the moment you decide to take control of your mornings, your mindset, and your actions, your life begins to change. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for confidence. Do not wait for the world to believe in you. Start now. Start tired if you must. Start afraid if you must. But start, because every sunrise is another chance to become stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and closer to the life you truly deserve. One day, people will look at your success and think it happened overnight. But you will know the truth. You will remember the quiet mornings, the lonely sacrifices, the unseen effort, and the moments you refused to quit when giving up would have been easier. May you have the courage to rise before doubt, the discipline to keep moving when motivation fades, and the vision to keep believing in your future even when results are invisible. Your greatness is waiting on the other side of consistency, self-mastery, and relentless action. Good luck on your journey toward success, growth, wealth, and purpose. Thank you so much for listening and spending your valuable time here today. And if this message inspired you, motivated you, or helped you think differently, make sure you follow and support Mind Wealth Theory for more powerful motivational speeches, mindset lessons, and life-changing success content designed to help you unlock your highest potential.